So, do you like that sound effect? Well, if you try out Canyon Bomber from the first collection of Atari's original arcade games to hit the Evercade, you're going to be hearing it an awful lot. Now, Canyon Bomber is a two-player game from all the way back in 1978, and as you can imagine from a 44-year-old video game, it's pretty basic. You and another player, either the computer or a fellow bomb-dropping human being, take turns hitting the rocks in this filled-up canyon. Depending on where your bomb hits, you'll gain a certain amount of points. If your bomb doesn't hit anything, then you'll lose a life. If you misfire on 3 occasions, then it's game over. Now, when I say this game is basic, I mean that it's so basic that there's literally one button that you use to play the game. All you need to do is use the B button on the Evercade controls and you'll drop a bomb. No need to do anything else than time when you actually choose to hit that button. You're assigned blimp and plane, they keep moving from left to right, but you have no control over them. Again, it's literally a one button game. You can play against the computer in single player, and that's an okay experience. You'll be tempted to go to town on the B button and get those bombs flying out, but you don't really need to. It works better if you take your time and you choose where to aim and where to get the maximum amount of points, especially the longer the game plays out. The computer can eventually lose all of their lives, and then you'll just keep playing and aim for that high score and be able to win the game that way. Like I say, it's an okay experience, but it's nothing too incredible. There is some little sense of achievement that you can have by trying to clear the entire canyon of its rocks though. In multiplayer with another person, someone to try and defeat and rub it in their face, you can have a bit more enjoyment with Canyon Bomber. Games are fast, and they obviously are incredibly easy to get to grips with for anyone, whether they usually play video games or not. In fact, I believe this is part of the appeal to this game back upon its release in the 70s. Younger kids could play this for a few minutes and feel like they're getting somewhere with the game. You do get a decent bit of arcade playtime for your money, albeit through virtual credits these days. There's a revised version of this game that hit the Atari 2600 that uses bright coloured graphics instead of the black and white, and it also introduced an interesting variant of the game that's called Sea Bomber. Now in Sea Bomber, that mode differed by having you drop bombs on underwater sea vehicles and the like, instead of the rocks in the canyon. If you're interested in checking that out, you can find it on the original Atari collection, the very first numbered Evercade release. Overall, this is obviously not a game you're going to sink hours into, but for a title that came out when it did, it does look pretty nice, it's easy to pick up and play, it runs very smoothly, and you can have some fun with it for a little bit in multiplayer mode. The sound effects, however, they can get awfully grating, and the 2600 version with the colours, the different sounds, and the Sea Bomber mode would be the preferred version to play in my opinion. It's almost difficult to rate a game that's so basic and so old, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. And looking at it from the terms of playing it today in 2022, I'm going to award Canyon Bomber a 4 out of 10. It's decent at what it does, it just doesn't do enough to keep you engaged any further than a few rounds. By today's standards, it feels more like a little mini-game or a tech demo than a full-fledged game.